Hello, everyone. This is Lynda Carter, and you're listening to the Swish Edition.
From their secret underground studio, this is the Swish Edition.
You ready?
Dale and Scott are in the studio and on the mics.
Extremely happy to be here.
And we're about to beam our fresh new episode to all the masses. Miami, New York, San Francisco, Chicago, P-Town, Key West, Cleveland, Dallas, LA, Denver, Boston, Washington, D.C.
You ready? I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, your new best friends. They're your host, Dale and Scott.
All right, joining us right now is the one and only Lynda Carter. Her new CD is called Crazy Little Things. It's a collection of pop standards retooled only the way she can do it. You guys, of course, know her best as the iconic Wonder Woman of the mid-1970s. But you know what, Lynda, you were gorgeous then, but I've been looking at these pictures. You are even more gorgeous now.
Well, not quite, but it sounds good.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Good to me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
This past weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I was up with some friends at the beach, and we listened to the entire album. And I have to say, you know, I thought we'd put it on as background music and we'd have conversations, but everyone stopped talking, and we listened to the whole thing.
You're kidding.
I am not.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah, we loved it. Well, tell us how this collection came about.
I've been singing. I went back to singing after a long hiatus to raise my children. We started as a very young girl, and I traveled all over the United States, and then moved to LA and was I did jingles and some studio work there singing, but kind of focused on my acting. I did an album, I did some singles, I did a lot of work doing specials and things after I got sort of famous with Wonder Woman, and not sort of famous, very famous with Wonder Woman. And then when I had my son, I really didn't want the road life. I'd been on the road my whole life, and so I made a choice not to be on the road for extended periods of time. And about 6 years ago, I went back, and I really am doing exactly what I want. I'm picking songs that I want to do, that I want to perform, and then working with some really, some interesting people to put this together. A great producer, Kyle Lenning. I told him what I wanted to sing, and he disagreed with some of it and agreed with others, and then I talked him into agreeing with the other choices that he originally disagreed on, like jet plane. If you, I'm leaving on a jet plane.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the Peter, Paul, and Mary version, you would think, well, how could you ever redo that? How could? But the story, if you listen to my version, I've taken part of the original lyrics out, and I put in a different time signature and made it much more a story of if you've been in love, you know what it feels like.
I love it.
You're leaving someone.
It's almost like listening to these songs for the first time because of the arrangements. We just absolutely love them.
Thank you.
So you know what? You've been, of course, crisscrossing all over the country. You were just in my hometown of Williamsburg, Virginia last weekend. Is that right?
I was. A couple of days ago, I was at the Arts Festival and sang at one of the venues there, and it was great. We had a couple of we did 2 shows and had standing ovations, and, we do some rock and roll and it's really kind of the way that the album is, only there are new songs as well. I don't do the whole album, I only do part of it. And so it's similar to the kinds of choices. It's rock and roll standards or pop standards. from from a lot of different genres.
I love that. Well, I would go just back to Williamsburg for a second because I saw that you were at the Williamsburg Lodge, and that's where I was a room service waiter 20 years ago, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, you were a what?
I was a room service waiter there.
You were?
Yeah, well, 20...
Oh, and look how far you've come.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You know what? This is not about me. This is about you.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, this is nothing like what you've been through, but in my life, it was, you can never go to Hollywood. You're too tall, or they don't. If you want to be an actress, you can't tell them you're a singer. Oh, if you're a singer, you can't tell people that you're trying to be an actress. You can't do this, and you're too tall, and you're too pretty, and you're too young, and they're not casting. They don't even write things for people your age, and blah 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 blah.
Oh, look who showed them wrong.
Yeah, but you didn't listen to them. I mean, you always did it the way you wanted to do it. Isn't that right?
Oh, just to ask my family.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's true.
Yeah. I sort of I have my mind made up about something, and I'll figure out a way to do it, or I will also figure out that it's not it's not the way to go on in some instances. I honestly can't remember what those are at this moment.
Well, Lynda, speaking of family, there are some original songs on the album too, like Jesse's song.
Correct.
Did you write that yourself, or?
Yes, I did. I wrote it one afternoon with my daughter in mind. To be honest with you, when I first wrote it, it was a little bit more about me than it was about her, and so. The second or third day of working on it, I realized that it really wasn't what I wanted to say. It was what I was feeling, but it wasn't what I wanted to say. So I put it mostly on about her and about being her mother and stuff. It was really, she really loved it, and I was happy that the producer wanted to include it in the. On the album.
You've been crossing the country to promote the album, popping up to sing and do signings. Have there been any standout stops along the way?
Well, New York was really pretty great. We had just finished Jazz at Lincoln Center in the Allen Room, which is really, if you ever go to, if you or your listeners are in New York, it's at Columbus Circle, and it's on the 6th floor. It overlooks Central Park West, so you just see all these great lights as the background. It's really pretty. It's really a great room, and a very prestigious room. And then the next day, after we finished, I went over to the Barnes & Noble I think it was in Soho, and that was, I sang a few songs there, and we had a great reception, sold a lot of albums, and that was my first one. I've had great reception every place I've been, and I'm very happy about it. You never know. I think that people initially come to see Wonder Woman. I wouldn't you say that's probably true if they don't know that
probably
that's probably pretty accurate.
Right, and then you are okay. Let's hear what she can do.
Right,
but that's okay. You get them however you can, and if someone doesn't like it, I'm fully capable of taking responsibility for that too.
Well, we hear that you've been opening your set with the Rubber Band Man.
Yes.
Did you not sing that song to Kermit the Frog once upon a time?
I sang that on the Muppet Show, and I also sang it. I think I sang it in one of the specials I did. Yes, it always made me laugh, and I always think of what they did with the Muppets whenever I sing it. I always think of the band and everything like that. So I think it's pretty cool.
Well, you've also done something interesting with the locomotion. Tell us about that.
Oh. Well, it was really kind of a silly song when it came out, and when I was looking at I always liked it, and when I was thinking about this song, I just thought it could really be kind of interpreted in a sexual way.
All right.
So the girls, the background singers are saying, "Come on, baby, do it."
And you've turned it into a horizontal locomotion now.
So along with the different arrangement, there's always sort of a story behind it, and it once again it sort of makes me laugh, taking a silly song about a dance, and there's never been a dance. Do it nice and easy, and don't lose control. I thought, yeah. When you think about it, it could be pretty provocative.
Well, and speaking of hobbies, you spend a lot of time on the water. Is that right?
I do. As a matter of fact, I'm planning tomorrow morning to go out on the Potomac and get my boat out and row down, or actually row upriver first. And it's a 45-minute. I'm out there for usually 45 minutes, and it's a great feeling to be on the water.
And you currently, where exactly on the Potomac do you kayak? Because that area actually is part of an area that I used to volunteer with the fire department in. And
well, it is right. It's right by Key Bridge.
Okay.
So there's the Potomac Boat Club that's just one side of the Key Bridge, and down over on the other part of the waterfront, there's Thompson's Boathouse, which is right by the Watergate, and you can row out of both of them. And it's long. For those of you who don't know what sculling is, it's you see it in the Olympics. It's a very long, skinny boat, and it's got very large oars on either side, and it almost looks like you're sitting on top of the water. That your body is, almost your arms should be almost just above the water a little bit, and it's a great workout.
Well, Lynda, we had Cloris Leachman on the show last month. And
I love Cloris.
She was a hoot with us. She was a lot of fun. And, we were excited to realize that she played Wonder Woman's mother on the pilot of the series.
She did, and she was brilliant, and we became friends. And I run into her every now and again, and she is, I think that she was the best person ever on Dancing with the Stars.
She was awesome, yeah.
Because it's kind of the way that you have to play it, I just thought she was brilliant. She's a fantastic actress. She's very funny, but she's also just a really good actress. And boy, she's a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, she is.
But I watched the Wonder Woman pilot just a couple weeks ago. Before we even knew you were going to be on the show, someone gave me the first season of Wonder Woman on DVD, and I was watching it. And she was camping it up a little bit, but it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, everyone in that first season when it was in the 40s, they did camp it up, and I played it straight.
Yeah.
Because you can't have everyone camping it up, then it never seems to work.
Right.
So, and then we changed it a little bit in the second season. But she was the first really famous person. That pilot was the first time I had a lead in a series. It was very heady stuff.
Well, how did that compare with working with Jessica Simpson and Johnny Knoxville and Dukes of Hazzard?
Well, it compares very, very much to working with Willie Nelson, I have to say. Working with Willie Nelson was great, and plus that the guys from Broken Lizard and Jay Chandrasekhar who directed it, and then all the guys that played small parts, they did Super Troopers, and they wrote the script, even though they didn't get credit for it. They had rewritten the script, and I'm great friends with them. And so it was a blast to do.
Yeah,
And Jessica Simpson is one of the all-time sweet people. She's very sweet.
She seems very cool. Super Troopers is another fun one. That was probably a fun shoot.
Oh, that was so much fun. And the guys came over to me and said, okay, we've all got to ask you this. We're thrilled you're doing it. Of course, I deferred the money, and I think I got $167 recently from something. But they said, why are you doing it? None of us can figure out why. I mean, this is kind of, and I said, well, because it's very funny, and I don't have to do any of the raunchy stuff.
I like that.
Well, Lynda, I'm sure this has come up in a lot of your chats lately, but we suspect you're probably disappointed with NBC's decision not to pick up the new Wonder Woman pilot.
I was disappointed. I really think it needs to be told again, and this just means that it's not. I hope that they, maybe they will figure out a way to get it aired.
Yeah, if NBC doesn't take it, maybe somebody else will.
Maybe someone else will. And I think that David Kelly is a great writer, so I don't know what happened.
Okay. Would you have agreed to do a cameo if the series continued?
Oh yeah, I was talking to David. Most definitely, I wanted to be as supportive as I could possibly be. And as it turned out, it was very good timing for me because my CD was out and there was a lot of interest in talking to me. So it sort of helped me, as it always has. The timing of it really helped me as well.
Right. We may have heard some rumbles that there might be a movie coming up sometime. Have you heard anything about that?
I've been hearing about that movie for 30 years. I've been, David's the first one to actually come up with a product.
Nice. Well, we've also heard that you have the original costume in your possession. Have you ever thought about donating it to the Smithsonian or auctioning it off to charity?
I wouldn't auction it off. I would give it to. I would give it to my children, and I do. I've got it protected, but it is. It's a real slice of history, certainly television history.
Right.
And it's something that I want my family to have. I wouldn't give it up.
That's great. That's great. What do you think when drag queens imitate Wonder Woman? Is that flattering to you?
Well, of course it is. Well, I mean, God, that a drag queen wants to diva up into Wonder Woman. Hey, there was the most beautiful woman that came in. She was so tall and so big and so muscular, dressed up, and she had her guy. I mean, it wasn't a woman. It was a drag queen, but he was like he magnificent. I mean, almost like they draw her in the I was kind of softer in how they do it, very muscular in the comic books. He was just like that, and he was very
Lynda, we have a friend, Stephen, Dale and I are good friends.
It's only when the chest hair shows that I don't like.
Oh, no. Well, there's a drag queen here in D.C. who performs all over town, and she has this great Wonder Woman costume, and I have a wonderful picture of me with her in the Wonder Woman costume, and I'm wearing a Wonder Woman T-shirt, and it's one of my favorites, so...
Oh, yay!
Yeah, you got to check her out sometime. We'll have to make sure you can see her, because she's really good.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love that.
You've done some stage musicals like Chicago and London. Would you consider a Broadway gig or this cabaret scene more your lifestyle?
Well, right now I'm focused on the musical part, and it's a lot of work to do those.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot more difficult to do, I think, a Broadway play or musical than it is to do your own show. Even though I have all of the, I think it's the control issue. Again, as we that I have a lot of control over what I'm doing when I'm singing, and it's very exciting to do that, but I haven't found the time because it's very time consuming.
So, Lynda, how can our listeners keep up with you online and find out where you're going to be and check out a little bit about your album?
Well, I've got my website, LyndaCarter.com. You can just Google my name and my website, and I don't know, about 1,000 others about Wonder Woman will pop up as well.
It's true. Well, you're also really good with Twitter and Facebook. Is that all you, or is that?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, it's just so new. I've only started doing it recently.
You're good at it.
Well, thank you very much.
I mean, you're better than Cher. Have you seen Cher?
Oh my gosh, she's crazy.
No.
Well, Cher does her own Twitter and Facebook, and man, that woman can't spell.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah, you have to follow her, Lynda.
What's interesting about it is that there'll be times when I'm a little more down on it just because I don't have the time to do it. So there'll be kind of dry periods depending on how busy I am. But it's I do have people that help me maintain the site and everything. I'm trying to get my website up to have a Twitter feed on it as well.
Sweet. Lynda, thank you so much for talking to us. This was so
You're
great.
welcome, DCites.
Yeah.
There's one Virginian
neighbors.
in there.
We're neighbors.
That's right. We're neighbors of yours. We'll be looking.
There's one Virginian that's holding out.
That's right.
Thank you.
We're trying to get him to move across the Potomac, but
Yeah.
He looks for you every time he crosses the Key Bridge. So.
Now I know to look in the water.
That's
at the
right.
boats
Yes,
going by.
in the water.
Yes.
Long white boat.
I'll scream
go.
Lynda every time I cross it.
Lynda, have a great evening, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank
Thank
so much.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get around with. I ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. This thing called love. It cries in the middle of the night. It jives, it shakes all over like a jellyfish. I kinda like it. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. He knows how to rock and roll. He drives me crazy. He gives me hot and cold fever. Leaves me in a cool sweat. I gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get on the track, take a backseat, hitchhike, and take a long ride on a motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. I gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get on my track, take a backseat, hitchhike, and take a long ride on a motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love.
Awesome.
That was
She
fun.
sounds so good.
You know what? How cool?
Really, really
How
good.
cool is Lynda Carter, y'all? I mean, that was one of my favorite interviews of the year.
She was very good.
She was
I
really
was
great,
impressed.
very personable. And you know what? No wonder. I mean, yes, Jason. Yes, thank you,
Spin
Jason.
around,
Thank you, Jason, for setting that up. That was pretty awesome.
I couldn't stop doing the Wonder Woman
I know.
spin the whole time. I was getting tied up in my headphone cord.
Well, she was a good sport,
Yeah, she
and
was.
we really enjoyed having her on the show. So that was fun. That was a lot
That
of
was
fun.
a lot of fun.
This, my friends, is the Swish Edition.